20th, 2025, 6 p.m. Let the minutes reflect that all board members are present. And I'm going to ask one of our guests here today, Mr. Carson Young, if he will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3, we have approval of agenda or adjustments.
I'd like to make a motion to pull the grade 3 ECAT and vote on that separately from personnel.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan to pull the grade 3 ECAT under personnel and vote on that separately. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Abstained? Minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, we will pull grade 3 ECAT under personnel and handle that separately.
Make a motion that we pull RT Rogers Oil out of the bills to be paid separately.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by, did I say McBrogan? Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride to pull RT Rogers out and handle that separately. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that we will pull RT Rogers out under the bills and handle that separately.
Make a motion that we approve the agenda as read with the aforementioned changes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that we approve the agenda as read with the aforementioned changes. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. The agenda with the aforementioned changes has been approved. Item 4, student achievement. First we have is the presentation for young writers.
Renee Jones is going to introduce.
Okay.
We were going to introduce the young writers for the secondary level. They didn't come tonight, but the winners were Miriam Fitz for 7th and 8th grade. And for 9th and 10th, it was Gabriella, is that how she pronounces her name? Chapman. So their pieces that they wrote were sent to the state, and they may be state winners. So you may be hearing more about that in the coming days.
Thank you.
Next.
Oh, you're next as well. All right, so we'll move on to math field day participants.
Yes, we didn't have a high school or middle school team this year, but we were lucky enough to have a 4th and 5th grade team for elementary. And Miss Pearlnott was the coach, so she's going to come up and introduce the team. And she's got some good things to say about Mr. Young here.
Okay, I was coming up to introduce the team. We had 6 kids, they were 3 4th, 3 5th. 4 of them actually were jumping branch kids from my class, because I'm 4th and 5th. Carson Young actually placed the highest. He was 2nd place in all the 4th graders in our region, which was like 5 different counties. So he gets to go to states in April, which is really cool. 2nd place. Pretty cool.
Carson,
They
right
were-
there. Yep.
Come stand up in person. Our 4th grade team was Carson Young, Chase Lucas, and Maverick Van. And our 5th grade team was Naomi Elkins, Lily Patchers, who was a very last minute alternate, and her grandma's awesome for bringing her. And Cohen Hicks and Mary.
Great.
Congratulations.
Let's get a picture with Mr. Young. I want to get a picture with Mr. Young.
Yes.
Ian, come up here. I didn't stand up, but- Oh, there we go. You just come right in the middle. Right in the middle. A little bit hard. Look at it. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And congratulations, Ms. Knott.
All right, I think, would we like to back up
Yeah.
for young writers? Okay, let's back up a little bit here.
So our seventh and eighth grade winner is Miriam Fitz. We also brought her piece and would like to read it if you all have time.
Yes, absolutely. She said, what? I want to read this?
That was a opportunity to celebrate resistance force that modeled the past government of Zima. One of the most important and dangerous missions of Fenrir. He and a small circle of other operatives needed to break into a legal government facility in order to document the operation and expose it to the public, as well as cripple their main source of energy and information, an illegal supercomputer that was concealed deep within the bowels of the facility. Cat was in charge of reconnaissance as well as hacking the system to disable security. Suddenly, while her drone was in the middle of bypassing the access code, an armed guard stormed around the corner. The drone froze, but it was too late. It had been spotted. We'll go for some pizza right now. The town of Pizzaville was bustling with activity, doors and shutters open to welcome the warm sunlight. What is wrong with my writing today? Maybe I could write a children's book instead. The more inane those things are, the more copies they soon sell. Sally the mermaid was happy. She loved her best friend, Sparkles the unicorn, and her merpuppy, Finn. Every day she would take Finn on a swim up to the surface to look at the pretty rainbows in the sky. The baby. That was just stupid. At least YA books have dignity. At least they have personality. I'm obviously running out of steam and I really need a nap. Or some coffee. Honestly, what I really want is to hurl myself into the vast oblivion of space and forget all of my writing worries. I wouldn't feel pressured to write books if there weren't an audience to consume them. I mean, maybe hurtling myself into oblivion is a bit dramatic. I could join a pirate crew, maybe. That way I could get paid to do exciting stuff like raiding ships instead of sitting hunched over at my desk all day. Wait, that's it. Pirates. All hands on deck, the captain's shout roused the crew of the Vengeance, the ship of the mighty pirate Captain Corsair, who terrorized the 14 seas with her fleet of fearsome comrades. The deck and rigging creaked as the crew assembled and descended to the main deck. Ah, pirates are such a fun thing to write about, but I've already squeezed all of the creative juices out of my poor tired writer brain. Maybe I'll take a nap and come back to it later. I wish my book would just write itself. After my nap, I sit down again with a hug, reluctantly pulling my attention back to my measly one-paragraph story. At least I thought it was one paragraph. I could have sworn it was just one. Sitting before me, glaring up at me from the screen of my laptop, sits not one, but 8 paragraphs. As I scroll to the bottom of the page, I do a double take. Words are appearing on the screen before me, weaving sentence after sentence into a plot-thick web of genius, dialogue fitting together into a Tetris board of conversation. I check the top right corner to make sure none of my friends are pulling a prank on me. I don't recall sharing the document with anyone, and sure enough, mine is the only profile picture visible. My book is indeed writing itself, possibly better than I could. My eyes skim the developing story. It's good, but a little extra. I continue reading until, wait, what? It's taken a turn for the absurd, and not the kind of brain dead absurd I've been writing for the past several hours. I shut the computer. Maybe it's best to leave whatever magical force I've activated alone and write in my hoard of notebooks for once. magical writing starts appearing in those, I'll know something's wrong with me.
Good. All right. Okay, item 5, presentations. Item 6, public comment. None? Thank you. Approval of minutes. We have before us, March 6th, 2025 regular minutes.
Make a motion that we approve the March 2025 minutes.
Second. We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan to approve the March 6th, 2025 regular minutes. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. The March 6th, 2025 regular meeting minutes have been approved.
I'll be recusing myself for conflict of interest for RT Rugged.
All right, so the first bill we have is for RT Rogers.
I make a motion, we pay RT Rogers.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Farley to pay RT Rogers. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote. The bill for RT Rogers has been approved for payment, with Mr. Brogan recusing himself due to a conflict of interest. All right, we have before us the remainder of the bills.
Make a motion that we pay the rest of the bills.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan to pay the remainder of the bills. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. The remainder of the bills have been approved for payment. Item 9, old business, discussion and possible action to approve retired employee affidavits. And this is related to policy 4-G-1, substitutes in area of critical need.
Make a motion that we approve the retired employee affidavit.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. McBride to approve the retired employee affidavits. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the retired employee affidavits have been approved. New business, purchases over 25,000? None? Okay. Item B, discussion or possible action regarding the levy order. And you should have that in your folder.
I'll make a motion that we approve the levy order as presented.
Do we approve it this meeting or do we wait until the next one? 'Cause we're going to recess this.
Okay.
So this is just presented to us.
And your motion.
But
I'll rescind the
or
motion.
do we approve it? Hold on. I looked this up today and I want to verify this because we want, yeah.
That's the meeting.
11.
Recess 5 minutes. Call Trader.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion. We go recess for 5 minutes.
I'll second that. Have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by myself to recess for 5 minutes. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. If the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, we'll go into recess for 5 minutes. The time is 6:17. What's 4:17?
6:17.
6:17. What I said.
2 minutes.
We still got 2 minutes. All right, we'll call back to session. This regular meeting is Summers County Board of Education, March 20th, 2025. So we have before us the schedule of proposed levy rates. This is for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. Is there any questions or discussion we need to have regarding these levy rates? Okay. Hearing no questions, then we will have this sent. This will be published in the paper tomorrow, or be sent, it'll be published tomorrow. And Dr. Knott will send a copy of this to the state auditor's office. And then we will have another meeting on April the 15th to approve these levy rates. Okay, so we'll take no action on this one and as a board until April 15th. All right, item C, discussion or possible action regarding retention policy. There's was an email that came out. Right now, there's no information on this, but Trey is working on this policy and he will most likely have it ready for us at the next meeting. So we'll take no action on this one. We'll just have this put on the agenda for the next meeting. Okay, item D, discussion or possible action to approve the MOU with the WVU Extension Office. Who represents us? Is it Megan? Are you okay with continuing?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the
Single sheet. Is that-
yeah, I think I've got my sheets stuck together. Here it is. All right, so Megan will continue to represent us with the Board of Education with the WVU Extension Office. So I'll make a motion that Megan continues to represent us with the WVU Extension Office.
Second.
Motion by myself, seconded by Mr. McBride, that Mrs. Harvey continue to represent us with the WVU Extension Office. We have the MOU here as well. Is there any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? The minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that we have approved the MOU with the WVU Extension Office. Okay, personnel.
I'd like to make a motion that we go into executive session based on West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, paragraph 2, personnel.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the floor by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. Brogan, and according to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4, paragraph 2, personnel, we go into executive session. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote. We will go into executive session. The time is 6:25 p.m. Yeah. All right, we'll call back to session. This regular board meeting, executive session ended at 6:51 PM. So we have before us the superintendent's recommendation on personnel.
We're pulling the grade for CSAT for Paul Cook.
Make a motion.
Mhm.
In a motion.
We had pulled
To
it separately.
postpone it. Yeah.
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 So,
Oh, I see what you're saying. So then let's handle that one first. I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
So we have before us, pulled separately, the grade 3 ECAT for Talcott Elementary 2025-26 school year.
I'd like to make a motion that we, table this.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mrs. Farley, that we, table the grade 3 ECAT Talcott Elementary 25-26 school year. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that that one will be tabled, grade 3 ECAT Talcott Elementary. So we have before us the remainder of the superintendent's recommendations for personnel. We have before us a resignation, we have employee service, we have extra duty, extracurricular, coaches and volunteers, employment substitute professional, and employment substitute service.
Make a motion that we approve the remaining personnel recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. McBride to approve the remaining personnel recommended by the superintendent. All in favor, or any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the remainder of the personnel items have been approved. Item 12, discussion of next agenda. So we have the next board meeting, April 8th, 2025 at Summers County Comprehensive High School, beginning at 6 PM. We're going to have some policies on there. We're going to have coaching supplements, and calendar hearing will also be held that day. And then we had one item here, the retention policy that we'll move to the next meeting. Any other items that you all can think of you want to have on that next meeting?
Possibly. Did Ray ever get us updated fully on all of our policies? Do we know the answer to that? Can we find that out?
He had sent me an email sometime back with the ones he was still working on. So we could follow up if Dr. Knott, if you have any correspondence with Trey, just ask him if he can give us a list of the policies that still need to be completed. Okay. Any other items? As always, if there are any items you want added to the agenda, you can reach out to Dr. Knott or myself, and we'll get those added on for you. All right, so we're at item 13, point of privilege. Mrs. Harvey?
First, I'd like to just thank Dr. Knott for stepping into this role and continuing to show up every day. I'm very grateful to have you in this role, and I have received lots of individual messages about people that are happy to have you in this role. On a second note, I just would like to make it known, and you all do with it what you will, that there's a House Bill 3387 that is currently being going to be read this week and I guess next. The creation of a regional school district pilot program. it's a pretty, I don't know, it's concerning. It's very concerning. And it would give the state board the authority to create regional, school districts instead of county school districts. So, again, that is House Bill 3387. I would encourage everyone to look it up, read it, and let your delegates know how you feel about it.
What was that? 3387, House Bill 3387. Thank you. Mrs. Farley?
Well, I just want to say with spring break coming up, if you're able to have that time off with your friends and family, if you're traveling, I just want to wish you safe travels. And if you're home, I hope you can get out and about and do a few fun things, be safe and enjoy that time.
Thank you. Mr. Brogan?
I'd like to congratulate our guys and gals, both basketball teams. Their season just recently finished up, and congratulate them on hard fought seasons, and hope that good times were had and good life lessons were learned.
Brad?
Well, I have to follow one of the things Megan brought up. I'd like to, let Mrs. Dr. Knott know that I certainly appreciate you being willing to step into the position that you did. And, I wish you a lot of luck. Also like to thank all of our employees for making it through a tough winter. It's been cold, it's been snowy, icy. I think it's the worst winter I can remember having since the winter of 09-10. If y'all remember that one, it was a doozy. So, enjoy spring break next week. It's well deserved.
And I'll just echo the comments made. Dr. Knott, I appreciate you stepping into this role, and it's been, I think it's been a good working relationship between us so far, and I look to continue that. And I want to just talk just for a minute about my beard. As you all know, it's grown back out. There was a lot of angst on my part when I had to cut it off, but the individual that scored 295 and was able to cut my beard off, he shot a 295 again this year in the archery tournament. So he will be going to the state tournament along with two other middle school and elementary students. So there was no promise of shooting a 295 this year. He got to cut my beard, but yeah, so I'm keeping my beard. But there was one girl from James Monroe who asked if she shot a higher score this year than Easton did, could she color my beard purple and black? And so she has shot a 295. So she has tied him for the year, but she has not shot a 296 yet. So it's been a really good, I tell you, that whole group, it's just a camaraderie there with those different schools. It's because you're competing against yourself more than you're competing against the other school, but yet it's always that little rivalry between schools, and those the folks from James Monroe and all the schools that we shoot in tournaments with, they've just kind of become part of our extended family. And so hopefully I'm not going to have a purple and black beard. I'm counting on Easton to pull through for me, but at least it won't get cut off. And then just all the people that take time out of their busy schedule. I don't know how many basketball games or different games I've come down and I see Miss Hudson and I see Miss Blevins, and they're working the concession stands, and they're not doing it because they're bored. They're doing it because they love the kids and they want to do what what's good for the kids. And, we're blessed in this county to have so many individuals who really want to do what's best for our students and our staff. And I'm thankful that my kids have had the opportunity to be exposed to that here. So with that, Mr. McBride, we are at item 14.
All right.
And
I make a motion, we adjourn.
No, no.
nope, we're going,
14,
We have to
recess, that's
Yeah.
right, I forgot that. I make a motion to recess until third Tuesday of April, which will be April 15th, 2025.
Need a second?
okay, so we have a motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Farley, that we recess this meeting until the second Tuesday of April, April 15th, 2025. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Minutes reflect that we have recessed this meeting. The time is 7:04 PM.